I'm inside the UN headquarters in New York City. The UN is the most Israel bashing organization in the world. Last year, the UN passed 24 resolutions, one for Syria, one for Iran, one for North Korea, one for Russia, and 20 for Israel. The more resolutions they pass against Israel, the more stupid they look. I mean, you don't need to be a smart person to understand what you see in Israel. The Western Wall, the City of David, Ezekiel's tunnel, the two temples, etc. We're talking here about thousands of years of Jewish history in Jerusalem. See, Israel was not established in 1948, it was only re-established. The real establishment of Israel had happened about 3,000 years ago under King David's leadership. It's not our words against history, it's their words against history, and obviously their words are biased. If the UN does not tell the truth about Israel, we will shout the truth about Israel. And if the UN does not stand with Israel, we will stand with Israel, shoulder to shoulder. More and more people are becoming friends of Israel, and it's because we share the truth about Israel on social media and educate others. I encourage you to take a stand for Israel, because when you stand with Israel, you stand with the truth. Remain in God. Love you.
The United Nations Human Rights Council just passed 5 resolutions condemning Israel. Only one condemning Iran, only one condemning North Korea, and only 2 condemning Syria. Are they trying to say that Israel is more dangerous than Iran and North Korea together? You are not United Nations. You are united against Israel, a country that saves Syrian lives, a nation that lends a hand to countries that suffer catastrophes, a nation whose technology is improving the world. That's who you are against. There are more than 500,000 dead Syrians who needed you. Where were you? More than 15,000 civilians in Yemen needed you. Where were you? There are hundreds of Iranians jailed for protesting for freedom and human rights. Where are you? You focus so much on Israel, one of the smallest countries in the world, like it's the biggest threat to humankind. Shame on you, this is pure hypocrisy.
Ya, selanjutnya Perserikatan Bangsa-Bangsa atau PBB terancam bangkrut. Organisasi yang menaungi 193 negara ini mengalami defisit keuangan hingga 230 juta dolar AS atau sekitar 3 triliun rupiah tahun ini. Sekretaris Jenderal PBB Antonio Guterres menyebut saat ini organisasi yang dipimpinnya sedang mengalami krisis likuiditas yang terburuk sejak 1 dekade terakhir. PBB juga terancam harus menanggung resiko menipisnya cadangan likuiditas pada akhir bulan dan gagal bayar atas pembayaran kepada staf dan juga vendor. Dari 139 anggota PBB, hanya 70% anggota yang rutin membayar yuran. Sementara tahun lalu 78% anggota PBB tertib membayar yuran. Atas krisis ini, PBB terancam tidak bisa menjalankan program kerja dan merumahkan 37.000 karyawannya.
The organization is facing a severe financial crisis. To be more specific, a severe liquidity crisis. The equation is simple. Without cash, the budget cannot be properly implemented.